Hey B, I've got a Tinder green text for you. It's kind of long. Be me, 20-year-old virgin. No friends, no family. Decide to try online dating. Match with a couple of girls. None 10 out of 10. Match with girl. Hannah. Cutie pie 10 out of 10 goddess, living not far from me. We start chatting. Turns out, she's 19, living with her parents. Also a virgin. We chat all through the night. All week. I think I'm in love. She asks to meet up. Fuck yes.png. I suggest this coffee place between where I live and where she lives. She agrees. 3 days later, at coffee place, she's not there. 10 minutes after we were meant to meet up, she's not there. Get angry at myself for believing someone could love me. Someone taps me on my shoulder as I get up. It's her. She's wearing this cute little fuzzy gray jumper with ripped jeans. Looks better than in her pictures. She tells me she was stuck in traffic. I tell her it's okay and that I didn't think she would bail on me. We get coffee and start talking. Around 20 minutes into our date, I begin to get this feeling of deja vu. I feel like I recognize her from somewhere, but I can't figure it out. Ask her where she went to high school, if she moved, stuff like that. Trying to find out if I know her or not. She's from another town and went to different schools. Must be a coincidence.jpg. Date is coming to an end. I walk her to her car. It's just across the street, but the more time I spend with her, the better. We get to her car. Today's been really nice, Anon. We should definitely do it again sometime. You didn't have to ask me.png. I agree with her. We have that awkward moment where we accidentally look in each other's eyes for too long and we're just waiting for the other to look away, but no one looks away. Seconds, which feels like minutes, go past. I notice she's slowly getting closer. She's going in for a kiss. Spaghetti falls out of the sky. See, I've only kissed a girl once, and it did not go well. I thought it was a hug. She disagreed, and it didn't go over so well. Not this time. Also going for a kiss. Lips finally meet. You've never felt soft until you felt these lips. No tongue. Neither of us were ready. We pull away. She's smiling like an idiot, and so am I. She gets into her car, still smiling, and drives away. I have a couple of hours to kill, so I walk to a nearby hill and wait of the sunset. Text her the entire time. She tells me I was her first kiss. I'm not sure if it was the kiss or the sun, but something about watching that sun go down was spectacular. Start going home when it gets cold. Happiest I think I've ever been. We meet up more times. Nothing much more happens. Around 1 week after first kiss with her, she officially asks me to be her boyfriend. Say yes. Kiss more. Around 2 weeks after first kiss, we go on a date. Nothing special, just a film, then walk around the park. Prettiest girl I've ever seen. We sit on a bench. It's beginning to snow. It's December. I shiver. You can come back to my place if you're cold and on. Autistic brain takes multiple seconds to process what was just said, and multiple more to reply. My house is closer. We should go there. Sure. We both stand up and look at each other. She knows we're going back to fuck. I know we're going back to fuck. We start walking back to my house. Could you walk a little faster, Anon? I'm freezing. Instantly erect. Start to walk faster. Can we just jog there? I don't want to be cold. Didn't have to ask me twice. .mp4. End up running back to mine. She's surprisingly fast for her height. We get back to mine. I unlock the door. She practically pounces on me, almost rips the door off of its hinges because it wasn't fully unlocked. Now indoors. Pushes me to the floor. I pull her down with me. Start making out like never before. Eventually, I stand up, clothes half off. Take her to the bedroom. Push her down onto the bed. Pull myself onto her. I took my clothes off and took her clothes off of her. She was lying down, hair splayed around her head. Never seen anything like it. Shit should be in a museum. Most erect I think I've ever been. Lie down on top of her. Bodies touching. We fuck like rabbits. Best sex I've ever had. Came multiple times. So did she, I think. I couldn't tell. About an hour later, we are tired out. She begins falling asleep. I ask her what's the deal with her at home. Won't her mom be worried or something? She swears and calls her mom. Tells her mom she's staying the night around some friend's house. Get slight feels because if I had family, I would be telling them all about her. She senses my feels and mouths, wait. So I do. While she's sorting out the logistics of her staying over mine, I wait. She comes off the phone, looks at me deeply and holds both my hands. If I tell her about you, Anon, she won't let me date you. Not until I leave her house. Her mom is really against dating, but Dad's a bro. Why don't you move? Nowhere to go. Not enough money. Job is shit. The usual. I understand, but still gives me some feels. We spend the night at mine, watching films and eventually falling asleep around 4 a.m. Wake up the next morning. She's not there. Oh fuck.exe. Jump out of bed and run downstairs. She's at my kitchen, wearing nothing but one of my t-shirts. Realize I hadn't seen her ass last night. Regret not checking it because it's so perfectly round. You could calculate pi to 10 decimal places with that ass. She catches me staring. She laughs and says my eyes are up here. Apologize and nervously laugh too. She goes in for a kiss. We kiss. I'm making you breakfast, assuming you like bacon and eggs. I drool at the word bacon. Faggot response, but it was on the spot and I was still a little off edge from the whole ass thing. She smiles and turns back around, letting my eyes feast on the eighth wonder of the world. A few minutes later, she serves food. Bacon is cooked to perfection. Don't think Ratatouille could have made it better himself. If I wasn't in love with her before, I sure was now. After eating, we talk about last night. Apparently, she enjoyed it as much as I did. Even more, if that's possible. Halfway through talking, she gets a text. Fuck, it's my mom. I better get going. I tell her that's fine. She goes upstairs to get changed while I sit back in my chair and wonder if this is all real. She comes downstairs and we leave together. I walk her to her car around 20 minutes away from where I'm staying. Turned out it snowed heavily last night, around 3 inches. It's one of the most surreal moments I've ever had in my life. Her car comes up in the distance. She stops walking. I turn to her, confused. She's looking at me with an odd expression in her eyes, like she's looking for something. Eyes darting between looking at my left eye and my right eye. Only now notice how beautiful she is, with her bright blue eyes, little button nose which is now red at the tip due to the cold. Suppress every urge to hug her as she's clearly got something to say. More silence. I ask, do you want to stay longer? I can get food in. No reply. She's no longer looking at me, but looking at the floor. She starts crying. Not loud crying, but small sobs. I go over and hug her. What's wrong? She goes, nothing's wrong. She pauses, clearly in the middle of a sentence. She looks at me, no longer crying. I think I'm in love with you. I could tell there was spaghetti in her pockets, as well as mine. I try and tell it to her back, but I just don't know how. I want this to be perfect, not some lousy, love you. It's okay if you're not ready. I didn't think I was. She comes in for a hug. Tightest hug I think I've ever had. Longest hug I think I've ever had. She loves me. Before I met her, I found it hard to believe anyone would ever love me. I was an antisocial faggot with no friends and interests. I would always think that I had to be someone else or try to be someone else to even have a chance, but that didn't matter to her. I didn't need to be someone else. I was me, and she loved me, and after what feels like an eternity, we break apart. She's smiling like she did on the first kiss. So am I. She goes in for another hug. I hear her cute little squeak again. It melts my heart. We break apart again. We're both still smiling. We've been stood in the same spot for around half an hour. She goes over to her car and waves at me. I wave back. She drives off and I go for another walk. Too much positive feels to be sat indoors on 4chan. Text her the whole time. A few days later, same scenario. In a local park. Starts snowing. Christmas lights were put up recently. It's getting cold. She suggests we go back to her place. Says her parents aren't home for a while, so it's okay. Go back to her house. Step inside and instantly get red flags. That smell. It smells familiar. She notices me acting odd. She asks me what's wrong, then proceeds to take off her dress in the most sexy way possible. Either she wasn't wearing any underwear today, or she'd managed to slip them off during getting home and noticing me being weird. She beckons me towards her. My dick practically pulls itself towards her. Brain too horny to snoop around more. Get into her bedroom. Made out on bed for what felt like hours. Finally make love. Midway through it all, I hear something. She does too. It's coming from downstairs. Honey, I saw your car outside. Are you here? Oh no. That voice. I recognize that voice. Then it hits me. The slight familiarity. The smell. All these red flags. I hear her coming up the stairs. I'm still frozen, dick halfway in her. She looks at me terrified. I don't think I've ever acted so fast. I got changed and gathered my stuff and locked myself in her bathroom at record speeds. Sports scientists would be analyzing how I managed to move that fast for centuries to come. Peek through keyhole. Hannah is pretending to do her makeup on her desk. In she walks. My high school head teacher. It's definitely her. I'm panicking. She's ruthless. She once suspended a boy for ripping up his school book, called it destruction of school property. Most teachers hate her. If she finds me, I'll most probably be charged for rape or something. She asks girlfriend, "Did you have a nice time today?" Hannah is dismissive. She keeps asking questions about her day until she eventually leaves. I'm still frozen. What do I do? She walks over to the door and opens it, slides me a piece of paper. On it written, "Text me." Of course, I hadn't even checked on my phone. I was too transfixed on what was going on. I slowly get my phone out, not wanting to make any noise. 52 messages from her. Mostly her just saying, fuck. We're messaging each other, planning the great escape. She's going to distract them, and I'll sneak out the back and run home. 1 hour run, but I need the exercise anyways. Dad walks in. He has a smile on his face. "So," he asks, "did you see him today?" Realize he's talking about me. Lots of happy feels because she told someone she was visiting me. I know it's a faggot thing to be happy about, but whatever. She whispers something to him. He smiles more. He walks over to her bathroom door and quietly knocks. I don't move. Hannah texts me saying it's okay. I slowly open the door. He laughs at me. I must have been a sight. I was terrified I was going to be beaten. He tells me that he can help get me out of the house, but he's going to need something in return. I tell him anything. He asks if I love her. Fuck, she must have told him about when I didn't answer. I pause for a bit and look at her. She's looking at me for an answer. I tell her the truth, how I wanted it to be perfect and I didn't want to mess it up, but I was too busy thinking of how to say it in that moment, and then it had passed. Remember, her dad is there. Look at him. He's smiling almost as much as she is. Hannah runs over to me and we hug. She starts crying again. No time passes until Dad goes, "We better get you out of here soon." Hannah agrees, as do I. Father goes, "I can give you a lift if you want, Anon." I accept. Any excuse to run for an hour. Get home. Wave goodbye to her father. Get inside and pull out my phone. Multiple texts from Hannah. She's telling me how much she loves me too and how she was so sorry for thinking I didn't. Also tells me that the mother doesn't know anything. Go to sleep feeling better than any drugs could make me. Wake up the next day. 43 missed calls from Hannah. Over 100 texts. Mother found out. Turns out she has a security camera and caught me and Hannah entering, and Dad and me leaving. Father apparently in shit as well for it. Hannah tells me we can't go out for a while. Still boyfriend and girlfriend, just no dates. I said it's fine and to text me if anything changes. She says she will. We text non-stop every day for about a week. Christmas is in a week. She finally tells me she can see me again. On one condition set by her mother. That I meet with her mother first. Fuck my life. I wasn't the worst of kids back then, but I got into my fair share of fights. Everything's fucked. I'm never going to see her again. It feels bad, man. The day comes when we arrange to meet. December 23rd. She'd been preparing me for the last couple of days. I drive up to her house. This has to go well. I don't actually know if I can function properly if I can't see her again. I park up and exit my car. Hannah's already outside with me for some last-minute preparation. Feels like I'm taking a final exam on a subject I don't know. Walk into the house. That smell again. I should have known. Hannah's mom is there and she looks at me and then crunches her face, thinking, "Do I know you?" Fuck. I'm not sure. Did you go to Faggot Town Primary School? Yeah, I did. Pretend to be suddenly shocked. Wait, you're Mrs. Nine Gag, aren't you? Yeah, I think I remember you. Suddenly, lists of all these achievements that I never did. Tells Hannah how well of a child I was and how she's delighted to have me dating her daughter. I'm stood there in disbelief. It couldn't have gone better. It went so smoothly. Too smoothly. I'm expecting her to suddenly remember who I really am and kick me out, but that never happens. I'm still here, pretending to be nostalgic about events I participated in. Suddenly realize who she's talking about. Some smart-ass kid called Sam who ended up going to Yale or something like that I don't care enough to remember. It was just somewhere good. Eventually, have dinner with Hannah's family. Nice food. Mrs. Nine Gag cooked it herself. She's a better person than I remember. Eventually, it gets dark outside. I start to head home. Hannah catches me at the door. "Could you wait a moment?" She calls out to her mom. "I'm gonna sleep over at Anon's house." Can hear Mom being resistant, but Dad shouts over her. "That's fine. Just text us in the morning. Gotta buy that man a beer next time I see him." Leave before Mom says no. We go over to my car and get in. Just sitting there. She's smiling because it went so well. As am I. We drive to my house. Don't even fuck. Just talk until morning. She falls asleep around 5 a.m. Get a call from her dad at 11. She's still asleep, so I answer it. Hi, Steve. It's Anon. Hannah's asleep. I could wake her up if you wanted me to. Just thought if she could sleep, then let her, you know? He agrees and tells me he was just checking, thanks me for everything, and hangs up. Hannah is now awake. She's asking me what that was, and I tell her. She smiles at the fact that I let her sleep. She kisses me and then goes downstairs to make her 10 out of 10 bacon. She then goes home. We text all day. It's Christmas Eve. Wake up early. Fell asleep early, so figures. Hannah not awake yet. She usually sends me a good morning text when she wakes up. Browse 4chan for what feels like the first time in forever. Get that holy text. Suddenly, get an idea. Grab keys and wallet and run out. Spend whole day on execution of idea. Of course, texting Hannah throughout. Making plans with Hannah to meet up with her family tomorrow. Browse 4chan, then go to sleep. Christmas. Wake up. No text. Remember plan. Make sure everything is in order. Get text from Hannah. Merry Christmas with 3 images attached. She's looking like a snack in each of them. Each one of them are Christmas themed, with the third being a full nude with long red boots and a Santa's hat. She looks so good I can't even begin to describe it. Leave house around 2 p.m. Be at hers within minutes. I knock. She opens the door and jumps on me. Not like she did when she was at mine weeks earlier. It was more playful and polite. She kissed me and then invited me in. Her family were all in the living room, with gift wrapping on the floor. Mother and father look happy to see me. Sit down and start talking. Merry Christmas to everyone. Eventually, get chance to talk to father alone. I tell him my plan, and he agrees. Ask him to ask mother, just to be sure. He does and comes back a few minutes later. Plan is in action. Present time. They give out theirs first. I can't remember what Hannah gave her family or what they gave her. All I remember is she gave me this little wooden box that I later learned she had made herself. It was actually really good. Inside the box was some papers. I turned the papers around. 2 tickets for Disneyland. Now, I've never told her this, but I'm a sucker for Disneyland and theme parks. She can see how excited I am and starts smiling so much it should hurt. Another piece of paper in the box. It's a note. I expected it to say some shit like, I'm yours, or some faggot shit like that, but the note said, you thought those pictures I sent you earlier were good? Just wait until tonight. I'm in love with this girl. It's time for my present. I reach into my pocket and bring out a small velvet box, about the size of a ring box you propose with, but it's 2 times longer on one side than the other. She's confused until she opens it. It's a little silver key. She looks down at me, and I get my keys out to compare. It's the same as my house key. She squeals with excitement and runs towards me, pushing me back into my chair. We start making out. I'm fine with this until I remember that my high school head teacher is watching me. Pull apart and nod to behind her. She gets the idea and blushes. We end up going back to my house and fucking for several hours. It felt like days. She moves in the next day. Parents seem as happy as she is. I don't live far away, and I tell them if they wanted to visit, they can. We're both really happy, and everything is perfect. Be me. 23. 2017. Celebrating Christmas with Hannah and family. Present time. Pull out my present. It's in the same box as the key to my house was. Found it in the attic a couple of months ago. Kept it for this reason. Get out of chair. Go down on one knee. She starts sobbing happily. She says yes before I can even ask the question. Mother cries. Mother still thinks I was Sam. Father looks really proud. Lots of happy feels that night. Be me. Yesterday. Hannah bursts into my room with something in her hand. It's a pregnancy test. I'm going to be a father, B. And I couldn't be happier. Hey guys, it's me, Dover bro. Just giving you my thoughts after the video. Now, there are 2 ways you have to look at this. The first one being complete suspension of disbelief, and you have to just accept that all this happened. That 2 complete lonely autists actually fell in love within weeks on Tinder and then had a happily ever after, even though 90% of this stuff in this story makes 0 fucking sense and this isn't how relationships work at all. But they could be just 2 really fucking ugly, lonely retards who believe each other are 10 out of 10s and they just fell in love because they're just total spurgs. The other option being, you don't believe this at all, which is kind of where I fall, I believe. The pacing is all wrong. This isn't really how relationships work at all, and I really doubt that any of this happened or panned out just the way that he said it. It was all too Hollywood for me. It seems like a really, really gay case of fantasy fulfillment which is fine. So I'd like to thank you guys for 10,000 subscribers. I do have a video planned for that, but it's going to come out, a little bit later because I do have some other content I need to get out first. But yeah, thank you guys so much for that. It's really crazy to me. I honestly couldn't put into words how much I appreciate it in this short of a time. So I'll go more in depth in the 10,000 subscriber video. But again, I do appreciate it so much. 10,000 subs in 3 months. That's crazy. So thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers and for giving my content a chance, because I feel like I've improved it and gotten it to a point where it's actually worthy of being watched by 10,000 people. So thank you. And speaking of content, I've been listening to what you guys have been saying for the longest time now. I know everybody wants the long feels green text. Everybody's been like, where's the long green text? Where's the long feels green text? I liked Ballad of Ella. I liked Elisa. I liked the Liliad. Where's more like that? And I've been listening to you guys, and luckily for you, more is coming up. It's been kind of hard to find these good, genuine, quality long green text. I didn't want to just keep doing the same old cliche, stale, trite bullshit where a non falls in love with the girl and then the girl dies or kills herself. So I've went through the depths of the internet to find you guys quality content, and I've got hella good green text coming up. Hella long, hella good. Damaged Goods, Romeo-san and Juliet-chan, the story of Lee Wan, some crazy R9K threads, some B threads from the depths of the internet that don't even have titles, but they're 50 minutes or longer. I mean, some of these push even 3 hours. I might even have to do some of them in parts. They're that long. But yes, guys, I do have long, lengthy green text coming up for you guys. So that's where those are coming from. They're going to be coming up really soon. I think the first one's going to come out Saturday. Depending on how long it is, it might be in parts, and then I'll do a part every other day. But I'm hoping I can get it done by Saturday. It's Tuesday as I record this, so hopefully I can get the full hour and a half or 2 hour video, whatever it is, done and ready for you guys. And I really hope you guys are going to like this content that is upcoming, because I'm super excited for it, and I'm super excited to see how far this channel goes. And speaking of that, the last thing I need to address is, because I hit 10k subs in 3 months, suddenly 15k, 20k, 30k, those numbers don't seem so far-fetched to me anymore. They don't just seem like imaginary numbers or numbers on a screen associated with my name. They seem like something actually feasible. So I'm thinking for 20,000 subs, when I hit it, I don't know how long it'll be. It took me 3 months to get 10k, so let's hope we can keep this crazy growth curve up. And if I get to 20k, I do want to do the story of Trey, kind of a tell-all of my life. I know a lot of people responded to me on that comment I left on the Elisa video, and a lot of people just genuinely or in general are kind of Trey, you seem kind of sad. Why do you only do depressing stuff on your channel or whatever? What's up with you? Are you okay? I'm going to be doing a tell-all, the story of Trey, kind of the story of my life at 20k subs. So I hope you guys are excited for all this upcoming content, as excited as I am. And again, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. This has been Doverbra, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.